All right, good morning, midday, noon. I don't know. I'm just sharing the social stuff real quick still before we dive into this awesome new thing. Let's see. Where should I share it? As well on the Discord, of course. There we go. I think that's it. How is everyone doing? Let me know in chat if you're here. Say hi. And let me know if the stream quality is fine. Well, actually a couple of days ago, I made some improvements, and I hope everything is stable now. And yeah, I hope that things just work out for once. You know, I told about this on stream a couple of times before. My heating at home, I spent basically the whole winter without heating. It's fixed since yesterday, finally. And they were working on it. And suddenly the guy comes out and he says, "No panic, but I just blew something up." And there was like an electrical component that was blown up. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. Let's hope PHP is a bit more stable than my home heating. That would be nice. Yeah, this is gonna be a real cool RFC to talk about, and I want to go through the RFC here on stream and just discover it together, talk about it a little bit with you as well in the chat. So definitely pitch in if you want to, and then yeah, I mean it's a super cool feature. So I'm just waiting one more minute here until the socials have done their work. By the way, while we're waiting, share the link on your socials as well. I feel like this is really an important feature for PHP, and it's good to talk about it together with the community. So yeah, all of that being said, let's take a look at this one here. This is a blog post I wrote in 2022. Actually, I wrote it, I think, in 2020 originally, and then I updated it. What I would change about PHP, right? Generics. They're not coming. Oh, my highlighting is broken here. That's interesting. That shouldn't be the case. Anyway, generics aren't coming, folks. Most likely they aren't. It's not doable. It is doable if we step away from runtime type checks. But right now, PHP isn't ready for that, you know. Let's see. No more runtime type checks. That's something I would change as well. A superset of PHP, I don't know if I still really want that, because it does introduce some hassle, and it was kind of a workaround for, you know, not having generics built into PHP. It would be much better if we just get, you know, runtime ignore generics. Cascading attributes, yeah, this is still not in PHP. When you do get attribute on you know, on some a property or something, and that it what did I oh yeah, and having it check parent classes basically. We do this in Tempest. This is something that Tempest does, but we've re-implemented. Well, we've implemented a small layer on top of reflection to be able to do this. Scalar objects, of course, would be so nice. Why not? And then, here it is, the pipe operator. Yes. Oh, how great would it be if we would have the pipe operator? What is the pipe operator, you're wondering? Well, we're going to read all about that in 5 minutes, because it is coming to PHP. Like, very likely. It's going to be great. Unified function names, stricter everything. Yeah. Cool. Actually, this is oh, here's my old post actually. Yeah, PHP reimagined. I mentioned I wrote an earlier post, well, 2021 actually, not 2020, with some more things on my wish list, and we actually got quite a lot of things: enums, read-only properties, named arguments, improved type variants. So PHP is alive, you know, and we're getting so many great things, and I'm really looking forward to the pipe operator. Why? I'll explain during the stream probably. It's so great, and like these things here, enums are. Hang on, let's see. PHP RFC enum. I know for sure that enums were created by Larry. Yeah. Let's see what else was there. Read-only properties. Were they by Larry? I don't think so. Properties. Although Larry did make read-only properties. These were still by Nikita. Yeah, because Larry did asymmetric visibility RFC, which we read through as well here on the channel. Yeah, Ilya and Larry. And then named arguments? I don't think Larry made. Anyway, I'm talking about Larry because Larry is doing the pipe operator RFC. Oh, I misclicked. And Larry did quite a lot of other things. So Larry did enums for sure, asymmetric visibility. What's the other thing he did? I can't remember now. Hang on, PHP 8.4. Let's see, property hooks. Of course, property hooks, also by Larry, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Larry. Larry has been on a roll, really. Yeah. Asymmetric visibility, which is, it's really nice, actually. I've been using it a little bit here and there. It's really cool. I was kind of like hesitant to use it at first, but it's really nice. Property hooks, great feature as well. Enums, and now Larry is coming in once again and doing a great new RFC. Yeah, the pipe operator. It's really, we're gonna read through it and discover together what it is about. Let's see here. Larry is in my Discord server. I was talking about it yesterday, right? Oh yeah, this is something Larry mentioned here. The question is if there's time to squeeze in like the 5 follow-ups that they've been discussing. So, but first things first, the RFC, it will pass, right? 23 votes yes and only 5 votes no. It needs a 2/3 majority, so yeah, it's very likely to pass. It's how many days? I think it's still a week or something before the voting closes. But like, I've seen a lot of RFC votes in the past. If you have this kind of vote early on, like, it's not gonna change anymore. So there's only a handful of people who will still join at this point, and part of those handful of people will vote yes. So it's very likely to happen. So yeah, really cool. Let's read a little bit through it, because we have to learn what this pipe operator is. Yeah, but it's gonna be something new in PHP. I'm pretty sure. Like, same with property hooks, by the way, and asymmetric visibility. It was such great features from Larry. By the way, Percepting, you're asking thoughts on the foundation taking on FrankenPHP. Yeah, other big news actually a couple of days ago that was announced. Let's see, FrankenPHP moving. Let's first quickly talk about this. The PHP Foundation would like to announce that it has decided to directly support the FrankenPHP project moving forward. The plan is that FrankenPHP will move to the PHP GitHub organization, which will make it easier for core contributors and others to be actively involved. So FrankenPHP is, what is FrankenPHP? Is there like the modern app server written in Go? So it's a way to run PHP written in Go. It's super quick, and it has kind of like cool features built in, like the worker mode. So like, full disclosure, I haven't really dug too deeply into FrankenPHP, but it's clear that I will have to. We already had plans to support it with Tempest, to have like built-in support for FrankenPHP. Like, not just having it run, because as far as I understand, you can just run any PHP application on FrankenPHP, but like to have it use, make advantage of the things that are exclusive to FrankenPHP, basically, like the worker mode stuff. It's as far as I understand. So FrankenPHP, it's a couple of things, right? It has Caddy, the Caddy server built in. So you just run a binary, basically. You don't have to bother with Nginx anymore or Apache setting it up on your server. You just run a binary with your application and server built in. Something like that is here, standalone self-executable static binary. So you can optionally you can compile your app and like bundle all dependencies into it and deploy it somewhere. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, worker mode here, boot your application once and keep it in memory, right? So boot the framework once and keep it in memory for all subsequent requests. That's really cool. There are a couple of other like projects that already do this, like Roadrunner, like Swool, which is Swool is a PHP extension. Roadrunner is, I think, also PHP extension or written in PHP. I'm not sure. Then there's AMP, which is written in PHP, but FrankenPHP like does like its own runtime, and it's able to like do all these things. It's really cool. And then stuff like early hints, HTTP stuff that do improve performance. Anyway. So the question came, what are my thoughts about the foundation taking on this project? I think it's really good. I think I won't be surprised if at one point FrankenPHP, maybe it needs a new name, because FrankenPHP is like a little weird name. But if it became like the default runtime for PHP, and that we wouldn't need Nginx combined with PHPFPM anymore, that would be really interesting. And yeah, like imagine that if we by default would run PHP with that worker mode, right? And if we would like code all our projects with worker mode in mind. It's kind of like Laravel also has Octane, right? Which has a driver, I believe, for FrankenPHP, Laravel Octane. And Symfony, what's it called? Symfony, I don't know, worker mode. Yeah, maybe it's listed on the FrankenPHP website actually. Native support for Symfony, does it link to? Nah. Anyway, Symfony also has Laravel Octane kind of thing. So let's see here. Yeah, FrankenPHP support is of course already comes with Laravel and Symfony. And then there are other drivers, right, like Roadrunner and Swool. But yeah, how cool would it be if you could just run a binary, like build your binary, deploy it to a server, and that's it. You don't need any like Nginx or PHPFPM setup anymore on the server. It's just a binary that runs. Of course, there's shared hosting, so definitely like it wouldn't work everywhere. But if you control like a $5 DigitalOcean droplet, it's what I do, and works wonderful. So so they aren't sponsoring this stream, but yeah, super cool. And the fact that now the foundation and FrankenPHP are going together, this is there's some real potential there. So it signifies that this is a real thing, and this is something the foundation wants to support, I reckon, and they believe in, and they think is a good direction for PHP to go. So it's super cool. By the way, we have let's see here, PHPverse. When we're gonna organize this live stream event, which I will host. It's free to attend. It will be live streamed on JetBrains TV, and the author of FrankenPHP, Kevin here, is coming as well. He's the speaker, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's PHPverse, by the way. Like if you want to come, definitely do. Like it said, it's a live stream, so everyone can come. We have we'll celebrate PHP's 30th birthday together. And we have a couple of great speakers and some swag to give away as well. Some very, very awesome swag. Like the most exclusive, well, no, okay. Let's see, PHP elephants. There are more exclusive things. I'm not saying it's a PHP elephant, by the way. It might be something different, but I think elephant, what's the website? Elephant overview. Field guide to elephants, right? There are some elephants that there are only 1 or 2 of, so they are more exclusive, but we have a pretty exclusive thing. I'm not saying it's an elephant. Yeah, I think this one is pretty exclusive, but there is a gold one as well. Here's Stormy. This one I have, right? And this one already is pretty exclusive. Like every conference we go to, people ask me like, do you still have one? I think we still have 100, something like that, and then they're done, and we're not gonna make any new one. But man, where's that very, very? I think this one actually. Oh, 500. There are only 500 of these. Nah, ours will be more, whatever it is, but we're giving it away at PHPverse. So it would be nice if people can come. If you want to be able to win some of the very exclusive swag, you'll have to register, but otherwise it's free to attend. So you can just go to YouTube. So yeah, FrankenPHP, really, really great. It's PHP moving forward. That's all I can say basically. Cool. So the pipe operator, that's what we wanted to talk about today. Larry has done it again. Honestly, like we've went through the, what was it called? Was it the property hooks RFC? The very long RFC. Hang on. I'm getting so sidetracked. Was it? No, it was a video here somewhere. Lazy objects, no. Oh yeah, it was the asymmetric visibility RFC, I believe. It was a very long RFC, and I was like, I read through it, and I was like, isn't this too complicated? But eventually, it succeeded. And no, it was property hooks. It was property hooks. Or yeah, I'm sure. So at first I was a little skeptic of, yeah, Larry, aren't you overcomplicating stuff? But he really did it. And this one it's not as long as property hooks, although it is pretty long. So I don't know if we'll read through everything, but yeah, let's just see what we can learn from this RFC, and maybe share some thoughts on it as well. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments. I do read chat, and I'll try to pitch in your thoughts as well. So in object-oriented code, composition generally means one object having a reference to another. In functional programming, composition generally means sticking two functions together end to end to make a new function. I like how Larry always starts with like a like he's telling a story with his RFCs, right? It's not just this is what we're doing. No, he tries to like share his train of thought, which is maybe why his RFCs get a little bit long, but I do think it might serve a purpose for people understanding why we need this feature and why it's so valuable. Both are valid and useful techniques, especially in a multi-paradigm language like PHP. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Composition generally takes two forms, immediate and delayed. The immediate execution of chained functions is typically implemented with a pipe operator. Delayed execution, I guess we won't talk about delayed execution, is implemented with a composition operator, which takes two functions and produces a new function. Is that called currying in function? I don't know, I'm not really into functional programming. By the way, let me make it a bit bigger here. Yeah, the combination of the two cleanly enables point freestyle. Okay, so but to be honest, there are already quite a lot of words here. I'm sorry, Larry. Like it's getting a bit complicated for me already. I wanna jump into the code. So I'm gonna skip this. This RFC introduces the pipe operator in the form used by most other languages with such functionality. Actually, languages that have a pipe operator. Okay, maybe there will be a list at the end of the RFC. For example, so we have a function get users, we have a function isAdmin, and we want to we want to generate, we want to count the number of admin users, right? And so in what you would do in normal PHP, let's actually write this, of course. What you would write in normal PHP. So we have these two functions here. So you would say, if you want to count, you would say count of, something like this, I reckon. That, looks fine. You write something like this. And now you structure it a little bit better, of course, because you want readability. Do you like this? This is something we all do, right? You recognize this. I even think I wrote something like this like 2 hours ago. Let's see. What was called Imai has many. Was it here? No, okay, maybe not. But nested functions, basically, you take the results from, let's see, from get user, you pass it to array filter, you pass that result to count, and that's basically, you get like your result. And so the pipe operator makes that more of a, instead of a nested structure, right? It makes it very much more linear, and it doesn't do anything new, but it's a way to like better visualize that flow. And this, like in my opinion, having to read this, it works from the end to the start, right? You start with a count, which goes to an array filter. No. You start with array filter, the result of that, and you pass that to the count, but it doesn't really visualize that, right? Well, you actually start with get users and then array filter and then count, right? But it's these nested functions, they work from the inside out. And over here with the pipe operator, you start from the start, which is really nice. Get users, you pass it to array filter, you pass it to count. Now, there are, of course, some things we will need to discover how the pipe operator works. But that's basically the idea of the pipe operator, which it's really useful. And yeah, by the way, I know on Twitch that there's a spam message. I don't know how to remove it. But yeah, I don't really want to. The problem is that, see, I cannot, I've looked into this before, but I cannot remove it. I don't know why. Sorry for the spam. Did you change your hair? You look 15. What? No, my hair has been the same for like years. Actually, when I was 15, I had like big curls, but let's not talk about that. I mean, here I am. I don't think I've changed all that much over the years, right? Over here, I had to visit the hair cutter thingy. I don't know. No, I haven't changed. No. Back to the RFC. This RFC introduces a new operator, the pipe operator, and it's pretty easy to type. Although I don't know, it's shift. I'm not gonna be able to shift this right. It's shift. No, that's not gonna work. No. Shift and then pipe and then what's that? An angle bracket, closing angle bracket. This one. It's okay. It's a bit like for me with my pinky. I don't know. It's not. It's okay. This is it's a ligature. I'll disable my ligature surround ligature. No. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's you could also use your. Oh, this is more, but I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, you cannot see that, of course, but You can use your left hand for shift and then your right for the pipe operator. It's fine. I do want to enable ligatures again though. Yeah, write it in chat. Everyone's practicing. Does that work? I get this concept, which is pretty neat, Mr. or Mrs. Deline says, but the syntax itself is horrendous. I don't know. It's, as far as I understand, the syntax that's used in most other programming languages. Pipe operator in, I don't know, does Python have a pipe operator? Oh, Python uses just a pipe, which is also pretty clean, but that's not possible in PHP because pipe here it already is binary OR, so that's not possible. Let's see, what's another language you like? Does JavaScript have the pipe operator? I reckon it doesn't. Does that exist? Or is it like a... With JavaScript, you never know. You get 10 articles from like blog spam. It's in stage 2, so it's not a... I reckon it's not in the language. Elixir has a pipe operator, which also is the same syntax. OCaml. Pipelining, they call it. Same syntax. So yeah, I mean, like in the functional programming languages, it's mostly this, I reckon. Rust. Does Rust have a pipeline operator? I'm a little bit confused why some languages call it pipeline, and then is there anything? No, there isn't. No, Rust doesn't have it. Yeah. JavaScript pipeline is proposed but not present yet. Yeah, that's what I read. I mean, as with many things JavaScript, right? They always like a little bit behind. I mean, you cannot be cutting edge as PHP. I'm kidding. But yeah. So I don't know. The line. The syntax itself is horrendous. You say, we'll get used to it. It doesn't like the syntax. It doesn't really. Isn't like the biggest issue here, I think. It's gonna be pretty great. The action, Ethan says, the action is pipelining, but you use the pipe operator. Yeah, that makes sense. Does it say pipe line? Yeah, okay. The RFC uses that wording as well. Ooh, there is a lot of things we need to read through. What's written here? What is this? Hang on. This doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna disable ligatures because people are gonna get. This was written in chat. Hang on. This doesn't work, right? This isn't anything. Oh, I think they were just meant. They meant to write this. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay. We're gonna read, we've managed to read through 3 paragraphs. Okay. Let's see. The pipe operator, or pipe, accepts a single parameter callable on the right and passes the left side value to it, evaluating to the callable's result. Okay, so yeah, it's not PHP yet, of course. So it accepts a callable on the right and passes whatever is in front to that callable over here. I think that's the idea. Pipe evaluates left to right by passing the value or expression result on the left as the first and only parameter, this is important, to the callable on the right. That is, the following 2 code fragments are logically equivalent. Oh yeah, and so you reference, this is important, you reference a, you basically pass a closure reference to the pipe on the right side. So when you write this, it's not invoked yet, it's only invoked when the pipe is gone through, right? And And this syntax, by the way, it's when was it added? Anyone knows? By the time you've said it, because of the stream delay, I already know, but I don't even remember the name. I use it all the time. Callable. PHP 8.2 would be my guess. First class callables. First class callables. It was PHP 8.1. So yeah, this syntax has been in PHP for a while, right? So yeah, and this by writing this, let's show actually. Why not? For dump, instead of get users here, you pass the 3 dots, and then, well, this is all gonna fail, of course, and you get a closure referencing that function. Closure referencing that function. Good. So this is nothing new here, which, if I remember correctly, the past pipeline RFCs, they failed because they introduced some new stuff here. Okay, for a single call that is not as this syntax isn't especially useful. It becomes useful when multiple calls are chained together. That is, the following 2 code fragments are effectively equivalent. Yeah, so like this, or even worse, right? The nested syntax, remember? And then you would have to start from, okay, array filter, like this, and then over here goes this, and we always replace temp with a new function, right? Or eventually the string. Yeah, so this could be rewritten as this, which is really nice, really good. And again, like another benefit here, it's not just that it's more linear, but it also reads the right way, right? It starts from the starting point instead of from the end, and you having to figure out the starting point somewhere in like the body of that function call. So the left-hand side of the pipe may be any value or expression. Okay. The right-hand side may be any PHP callable, valid PHP callable that takes a single parameter, or an expression that evaluates to such a callable. Functions with more than one required parameter are not allowed and will fail if the function were called normally with insufficient arguments. And so this is a good thing, I would say. In previous proposals, because this is already the third version, right? In previous proposals, they had something like this. What's a function with two parameters? Like array map, right? It takes a function and it takes the array, right? And let's say the array is the thing you passed in. So previous proposals, they had something like, so say array pipes pipe to array map, right? And then pipe to something else, I don't know, count. Like this. I am going to disable, can I? Yeah, no, it's not valid PHP code, of course. Okay, so over here you need the array from the previous step, right? And so if I remember correctly, the previous RFCs, they introduced this syntax, the $2 signs, and that referenced like the previous the input from the previous step, basically. But now, and I think this is a good thing, it does like this. So input, you can do it like this, and that's fine as well. I mean, it's a little more verbose, but it does have the advantage that we don't have to introduce yet another thingy, syntax. I don't know what this would it be an expression, probably. So I think let's see here. This pipe operator syntax is horrendous and messy. Is there really no other way it can be done? I don't know. Why are people feeling so bad about the syntax? As long as we don't start introducing proper monads and suddenly we have to do functional stuff. True. I come from functional programming, so the pipe operator I find quite simple and elegant for the problem it solves. This is a thing, it's just something we're not used to, and with every change, I remember with enums people said as well that, oh, the syntax is so ugly. And with attributes, oh, don't get me started about attributes. People like hated the syntax, and maybe there was something to say, but we've gotten used to it. Who cares? Who cares about the syntax? Yes, in Python you write it like this. True. And that's maybe even a little more clean, but I don't know. It's okay. The feature itself, regardless of the syntax, is really nice, and it looks like this one will succeed. So I'm really happy with that. So the pipe operator is left associative. The left side will evaluate first, before the right side. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's no like weird bracket wrapping. Daffy here saying, I agree, the pipe operator should be an emoji. Imagine that. You cannot even, or I cannot even write emojis in PHP Storm. Whenever I want to write an emoji, I have to like go here. Is there a pipe or an arrow? Let's use this one for the pipe operator. So yeah, it's left associative performance. This is what I wonder about. The current implementation works entirely at the compiler level and effectively transforms the first example above into the second at compile time. Imagine that, folks. Imagine a feature that's basically compiled before it's run to normal, more boring PHP or, well, lower level code. And that it's just there for developer, experience, improve developer experience, right? Imagine that. Imagine if we would have like things that were just there to help us during compile time, during the static analysis phase, but not during runtime. Get it? Generics. Anyway, more precisely, the implementation contains 3 optimizations for a function style, method style, or static method style first class callable. Those will be compiled down to direct calls, and no performance. That's interesting. So we use the first class callable syntax, but it's compiled to something more efficient, like a direct function call. It's really nice, really, really solid. That's great. Oh yeah, by the way, we need to... Oh yeah, this is the compiled version. Yeah, I get it. Let me... Yeah. Beautiful. That gives a little overhead over making all calls directly, but only in some cases and not dramatically so. Why does it give a little overhead? Because it has to be compiled. I don't care. Opcache. Should the proposed follow-up RFC, oh yeah, partial function application, be approved, it would be logical and recommended for a similar optimization. What was this one about? Yeah, that's that $$ or question mark thing I was talking about. Yeah. This, okay. We're not diving into the rabbit hole. Callable styles. Pipe supports any callable syntax supported by PHP. At present, the most common form is first class callable. I really like how they managed to like use PHP's built-in syntax. Like, for example, instead of partial function applications where we would do something like this or $, we just use short closures, right? And we use, instead of like doing this, we just reference, we use first class callables, and it's really nice. It's a really solid RFC, and it's great seeing these features come together in, well, what will be PHP 8.5. Yeah, we got this one in PHP 8.1, right? And short closures, PHP short closures 7.4. That's right. So, you know, we're building on top of very, I would say, solid features. And yes, there are still some things to say about short closures and how they cannot be multi-line and stuff like that. But this is pretty clean. It's pretty clean. So we don't need new syntax. We can use things that are like that we're used to, that feel what's the word? Not comfortable. Anyway, familiar. That's the word. Feel familiar. It's really good. Larry, if you're watching this, great job. Really. As usual, references are an issue. I don't even want to read through references. Supporting pass by reference parameters in simple cases is quite easy, and a naive implementation would support it. However, passing a variable from a compound value, an object, or by reference does not work, and throws an, I think this is good. Just throw an error. Just not support reference. I'm gonna scroll a bit, but here's a syntax choice. F#, Elixir, and OCaml all use the pipe operator exactly for this exact same behavior. There has been a long-standing discussion in JavaScript. Oh, we already discovered that. Yeah. It is the standard operator for this task, right? Except for Python. And I have to say, I like Python syntax as well, but it's not possible in PHP because we have the binary operator. Use cases here, the use cases for a pipe operator are varied. They include, among others, encouraging shallow function nesting, encouraging pure functions, expressing a complex process in a single expression. Yeah, it's like, it's one of those features we can, this doesn't allow us to do anything new. Like, for example, fibers, right? Fibers, even then, things, we could do the same things without fibers, but fibers were like kind of like a really new thing. The JIT, what else? Anyway, attributes. But we could parse attributes from doc blocks. So in the end, it's nothing new. That's what I'm trying to say. It's nothing new, but it's so convenient, and this has been PHP for the last years. We're just adding things that are convenient for developers, and that's great. That's really nice. Let's see here, array combination. What does it do here? So we have an array with 3 items and tags. Okay, so we get the column. What does array column do? Array column returns the values of a. I didn't know this existed. Okay, yeah. So it gets the tags. Wow. Interesting. Then they merge unique and values. Okay. And we get like the unique tags. This is something I wouldn't use the pipe operator for, probably, because I have a wrapper around the array that does this, but it is a good example. Yeah. And yeah, this is like the single expression thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone will argue that this is clearer to read than this. I hope no one argues that. The use of a pipe for function composition also helps to separate closely related tasks so they can be developed and tested in isolation. For a slightly contrived and simple example, consider we have a load widget here, which queries the database and returns make widget. Then load many, queries the database, make widget, yes, and then okay, that's just make widget. So there's some code duplication here, right? So we have this, and then make widget, make widget. I think this should be this make widget, by the way, or this should just be make widget. I don't know. There's a typo here. One of the two should differ, but. In this Oh, hang on. Duffy's saying a wrapper collection class has more overhead, though. You're referencing what I was saying here. Not noticeably, but this works on the same array in memory. True, but here's the thing, and this is the reason we have classes. This isn't reusable, right? Anytime you need this, you have to write it. So eventually you will wrap it in some kind of class or function that makes it reusable, and then we end up with a wrapper collection class, basically, or a wrapper function, but it is the same, right? So yeah. In this code, it is impossible to test load widgets or load many without also executing make widget. While in this trivial example, that's not a huge problem. It's more complex. In more complex example, yeah. So how does that work then? Yeah. So you okay. You extract that pipeline flow into into a pipeline. So yeah, interesting. Still, these are the kind of things I would wrap, but wrap into some kind of function for reusability, which is often written like important. But yeah, you could use the pipe operator internally, of course. My in-ears are broken. Have I mentioned this in the previous stream as well. It's constantly cutting in and out, and it's distracting. The letter couldn't be simplified with so yeah, now we're like totally refactoring. For me, this is taking it a step too far, but it's a mindset, right? Larry started the RFC saying that like there is a functional approach, there's a more object-oriented approach, and both are valid. So because a pipe can take any callable, a pipe chain can be easily packaged up. Here we are. Okay, maybe Larry had it in mind all it like from the start. Yeah. So we have load several, right? And yeah, okay, cool. Pseudo extension functions. Extension functions are a feature of Kotlin and C# and possibly other languages that allow for a function to act as though it is a method of another object. It has only public read access, but has the ergonomics of a method. While not a perfect substitute, pipes do offer similar capability with a little more work. For instance, we could easily make utility higher order functions that take or return other functions and callables that will map or filter an array that is piped to them. Yeah. So array map. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, but this would only work. This would be a function that's specifically designed to work with the pipe operator. Well, it could work without the pipe operator, but still, it wouldn't be very clear that it works. But I think this is the nature of functional programming, actually. I do wonder how because I'm not a functional programmer, but I do wonder like how people like visualize what's happening in this function, because like from the outside, if you I was about to put my hand on my screen, but you wouldn't see that. But if you saw this from the outside, right? This is like the public API. This is what you see when you write a map, right? You don't really get any input that there's an array required here. Yes, sure, you should array. You should pipe it in like so, and then it would work. I guess something like this. Now, how would you do that? You would actually have to wrap it in. Yeah. and then you would have to, anyway, map function. This is like the level of like programming, like functional programming, that I'm like, I cannot wrap my head around this, so I wouldn't do this. I think overall pipes will just improve the functional programming side of PHP. Well, but the thing is, like, PHP has so many built-in functions, and we started this stream, or we started reading through the RFC, saying that everyone knows, like, recognizes this deeply nested function calls, or having to make temporary variables to like pass data around. Everyone does that. That's not something that's only true for people who like a more functional approach. The matter of fact is that it's PHP, so you have functions, you have built-in functions, and you will use them. They will be wrapped in a class, but you will use them. So I think it will be very useful for many use cases. I'm going to scroll a little bit. Single expression pipelines of particular note. All of the above examples are a single expression. That makes them trivial to use in places where only single expressions is allowed. Oh. Okay, yeah. I don't know. This is cool, but I don't know if I like it. So all of this is basically one expression to PHP. So you could use it in a match case. You could use it in a short, and like as a return type of a short function. Ooh, that's interesting. There will be use cases for this, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I like it makes it very concise, compact. I don't know if it will be clear, but pretty cool. Okay, streams. A few small utility functions would allow pipes to be used with stream resources. Let's see here. Pipes. Ah, yeah. This is interesting. Yeah. You return a generator, and then you do lines from char stream, and then you can do stuff with it. Yeah, okay. It's just Larry playing around with it, I guess. Existing implementations. Multiple user space libraries exist in PHP that attempt to replicate pipe-like or compose-like behavior. True. All are clunky and complex by necessity compared to a native solution. Yeah, absolutely. There is a clear demand for this functionality, but user space's ability to provide it is currently limited. This list has only grown since the Pipes v2 RFC. Who made the v2 RFC, by the way? Oh, there's no link here. With a solid built-in composition syntax. So PHP League has the pipeline package. And Laravel, this is probably the more... includes a pipeline package that has an even more cumbersome syntax. Introduction usage, please. So yeah, this is the pipeline package from the league, and then and then we send it through different handlers, and then that's Laravel. Where? Oh, here. Pipeline, pipe, blah 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 blah. Let's see here, and then there are a couple other ones, right? And PSL also has a pipe function. The thing is, like with these user-length implementations, it's always so much overhead that you don't really want to use it. Although there was this time in Laravel, I can't remember, a couple of years ago, where people suddenly discovered pipes in Laravel, and then there was some content made about it, and it was the hottest topic out there. But yeah, Mike is saying here, how is this more readable? Let's see. Let's get. How is this more readable? Nobody is used to this notation, but Mike, I mean, we can say the same of almost every PHP feature of the last 10 years. I mean, and I've been following PHP's development for quite a while now. And like, you can totally like find it unreadable. That's fine. But I don't really think that the alternative is all that better. Let's see if I can. I should. Oh yeah, this one. Hang on. We're command Z. Come on, make it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. You could do it like this with a temporary variable. You could do it like this with a like nested structure, or I'm gonna try to write it. You could do it like this. Pipe to HTML entities, like so. Pipe to something like this. String split, array map to upper, and then yeah, over here this would have to be like so, and then array filter should also be wrapped in a closure. Yep, like this, and then you would do it like this. So I don't know. My ear is still broken. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna. It's yeah. This by far has my preference, and you may have another preference. That's totally fine. I prefer temporary variables because you can also give meaningful names, and it explains the context without the need for comments. The thing is, like, in practice, and I'm just talking from my experience, these variables, they don't get sensible names because you just want to get from here to here, basically. And so the thing that most often happens is this. This is what I end up with, and I don't really like it. So yeah, it might be personal preference, and that's fine. But I've seen a lot of features being added in PHP over the past 5 years, and they seem to, you know, like always get a little bit of struggle to start with. But in the end, they prove to be great. So that's my feeling with this one as well. But we can disagree about that. That's perfectly fine. Why is it in the engine? Yeah, and this is good that Larry includes this in the RFC, because I remember from the previous RFCs, this was a question that was asked, and it kind of makes me annoyed when people ask this question. Why do we add anything in the engine at this point? I mean, PHP can do anything it wants, right? You don't need all this fancy syntax. We've gotten attributes. We were able to do that without attributes. We've gotten constructor property promotion. We could do that without it. We could got named arguments. We don't really need named arguments. It's just for convenience, right? The list goes on and on and on. So why is it in the engine? Well, the answer is, I'm going on a rant here, but the answer is very simple, because it's useful for developers, and we're the ones writing like PHP like hours upon hours every day, you know. Let's just give it to us. This is what many people, not everyone, but what many people want. So yeah, let's read what Larry has to say about it. Sorry for the rant. The biggest limitation of any user space implementation is performance. Okay, Larry is smart. He uses the performance argument, and performance always works well when people are against something. If you say, yeah, but it's going to be more performance. Even the most minimal implementation requires adding 2 or 3 function calls to every operation. That's true, which is relatively expensive in PHP. I recently learned this when I was when I wrote an HTML parser, as you do, of course, and like I was debugging it, and it got like how it went from 600 milliseconds to 30 milliseconds, parsing like a big HTML file. And the only thing I changed was, instead of using a private function call, so within the same class, this function, instead of doing that, just inlining, and that had like such a big impact. So yeah, function calls are expensive. A native implementation would not have that additional overhead. Krell FP, this is I'm talking Dutch. This is, by the way, the Larry's own implementation. Also results in somewhat awkward function nesting like this. Yeah. Compared to the compiled version, this has 2 extra wrapping closures that could not be compiled away. The call to pipe itself and a for each loop inside a pipe. All of those are eliminated with a native operator. As noted above, partial function application would also allow eliminating the 2 manual closures. Yes, that would be nice now. If we get partial function application, Larry's on a roll. Some, more elaborate implementations tend to involve magic methods or multi-layer middlewares, which are a severe overkill for sticking 2 functions together. Absolutely right. Additionally, a native operator would make it much more easier for static analysis tools. Oh, also a good argument, performance, static analysis. And I'm here with my arguments, developers just like it. I think that's a really good argument, by the way. If we're talking about like the success of PHP and the popularity of PHP, just like, yeah, okay. Static analysis tools would know the input's value, in most cases the callable types on the, what's RHS? Return, no, I don't know. And could compare them directly without several layers of obfuscated user space function calls between them. Nice, it's a good argument, but you did miss like, it just makes our lives easier, Future scope. This is step 1 of several closely related features to make composition-based code easier and more ergonomic. Yeah, okay. Sure. I'm not, let's see, okay. Partial function applications, application was already mentioned. A close but accept object symbol. Currently, it is not convenient to call a method on an object returned in a pipe without wrapping it into a closure. Yes. One possible alternative. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I don't know if I understand that. $foo. Ah, yeah, because partial function application doesn't solve this. Yeah. Yeah, okay. A bind method or similar on objects, possibly with a dedicated operator of its own. If implemented by an object on the left-hand side, the right-hand side would be passed to that object to invoke as it sees fit. Such a feature would be sufficient to support, monads. Who mentioned monads? Okay, we're not going there. Iterable API. There has been off-again discussion of a new iterable API for some time, one that could replace array map. Yes, with a more iterator-friendly API. Yeah. But this is partial function application. Oh yeah. Combined with partial function application. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty nice. Wouldn't you agree? If we could have this, I would like this. And then there are some rejected features. And what's the Elixir style? Array map. Oh yeah, that's even without a partial function application. Without this, bah, that's not really. I don't know if it's really that clear. So it looks like this RFC is succeeding. 23 votes in favor, 5 against. Let's see here. A pipe. Vote pipe operator. It started on 3 days ago. So, okay, it's 10 more days. But really nice. Faison here is saying, I don't like it. It's totally fine. There's no one forcing you to use it. I do think that, like, I will use it. And I believe many other people will do so as well. So yeah, it's in my honest opinion, it's a really, really nice feature. It's a solid RFC. It builds on top of existing PHP features like full first-class callables and short closures. Really great. Yeah, wow. And it's gonna succeed, folks. I'm calling it. It's gonna succeed. I've never had an RFC like with such a clear distinction from day 3 suddenly switch to something entirely else. But we'll see. Really cool. That's the pipe operator version 3. Nice. I'm gonna use it. I hope you will too. With all of that being said, we're gonna wrap up the stream for today. Thanks for being here. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So next week, I'll probably stream some more, do some more work on Tempest. Oh, folks, by the way. Oh, hang on. While we're here, look at this. 3 days straight. Oh no, someone commented on it. Okay, it will be fine. It will be fine. 3 days. I worked on a massive pull request. By far. And like, I am 100% convinced. I've written quite a lot of code for Tempest now. The ORM is by far the most difficult, most annoying part of the framework. And that's just because of we're trying to map relational data, like data in a relational database, to a object structure in memory. And these two formats, they aren't really all that compatible. And it's just such a mess because you go from tabular data to more a tree view. So I was talking about this on Laracon in January. It was with Andreas, I think, from Mongo, about like maybe why don't we just use a document store like MongoDB, because that just maps the object structure perfectly. Okay. Why do we stick with stuff like SQLite and MySQL and Postgres, like relational database? They have their merits, of course, but yeah, I don't know. They are just like, it's what people are used to and people are expecting, so we cannot not have support. But oh, it's been this has been a journey. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. We're currently Tempest beta, right? So it should be pretty stable. And here I am refactoring like half of the ORM, 2,000 additions, 1,000 deletions. Gonna be fine. The ORM is still experimental, so it's marked as experimental. So yeah, it's things are allowed to break basically, but nothing breaks with this refactor. Well, unless I made a mistake, but yeah. So yeah, how long have you been working on Tempest until now? I started almost 2 years ago, believe it or not. Here, my very first live stream. Oh, I'm messing up. My very first live stream here. Oh, it was apparently something else, but this was my very first live stream. And there I started working on Tempest. It was already called Tempest. See? And I was, I don't know, building a container here, I think. Router. And then it kind of spiraled into something. But yeah, it's been good. We're almost done. Hey, from Puerto Rico, Victor Sanchez. Thanks for joining. But we're gonna wrap up the stream, unfortunately. So you're a bit late, but A referential, I cannot talk anymore. Referential integrity is kind of useful when we're talking about relational databases. And it's also a pain in the ass, is what Daffy is saying on chat here. And you're right. So, folks, we're going to wrap up. Victor, I'm so sorry. You're here, and then we're wrapping up. You can, like, check the other, like, the start of the stream when this stops. And one more question, by the way. Some people are asking whether it would be useful to do like short recaps of these streams. It would take some time for me because I would have to go through the whole stream again and then cut out the interesting parts and make it into a video. So probably a 2-hour stream would condense down to a half-an-hour video or something like that. Would you be interested in that? Because it takes some time to do. But yeah, maybe people would like it. So I don't know. Let me know. Maybe in the comments after the stream ends, or right now in chat. That's fine as well. I'm a little, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the effort. I tried it before with very short snippets. Didn't really work out. But maybe for like making it into a 20-30 minute video, it might work out. I'm not sure. Maybe something is possible with AI agents, Mike is saying. Yeah, maybe true. So yeah, and Victor is saying, don't worry, I'm used to watching the whole stream, these streams after you're done. Okay, that's fine as well. So I'll wrap up so that you can start watching, Victor. Thanks for being here, folks. The pipe operator, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to it quite a lot, and yeah, we'll see each other in the next one, probably next week, where we'll work a little bit more on Tempest, very close to tagging the next beta version, and then the first stable release. Gonna be great. So folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.